Hello and welcome to another video. So today we're checking out a DragonCraft deck for rotation. This one is a Treasure Dragon deck. This is an up-and-coming type deck, I think, at least as it's positioned on most tier lists of the sort tier 4, the lowest tier, but I found the deck to be crazy. This deck is a lot of fun, which is a great thing. It's not, while not super competitive, it seems, it's definitely got some awesome plays in it, and it's reasonably cheap at 5 legendaries in particular. You may even be able to bring that down to 4 if you cut one of the Bryans, or bring it up to 6 if you want to include another Dragon Empress, but overall, not that expensive. Most decks are averaging 9+ legendaries now, so anything around the 6 mark is reasonably cheap. And of course, being only 2 types of legendaries, it's not hard to make, and they're usually quite good, especially with the Otohime buff. So we are going to get right into this and check it out. So I wasn't really sure about this deck to start with. It runs a very aggressive style of play, except for the late game, which it makes up for a lot when you get to, of course, turn 7+, where you're taking advantage of the treasure, which is the Dragon Sphere, and that really does do some crazy plays with Otohime, as you'll see in this video. So starting off, you really just want whatever you can get early. That's usually the important part here. You don't really need to worry about what the opponent plays, you just want to be able to get something down early enough, and Goblin for me was the first thing to throw down. Typically I want the Dragon Treasure. If I can get that down turn 1, I can usually proc it around turn 7 at turn 8, which is right where you want it to be proccing, and that's usually good enough. So I went for the 2-1 to counter the 2-2. Might have been the wrong choice, but I mean, at least it gets to stick onto the board. And I did get the Dragon Hoard. I probably should have went for it, honestly. I shouldn't have worried about it too much. I should have just went for the play, but I didn't. Definitely was a mistake, I think. Although, we did get Angelic Smiters, so, I mean, I don't know. It might have been the right choice. So double Dragon Sword, don't really need 2 of them in my hand typically. It's mainly you're running 3 just for draw so you can consistently get it, and if you get Angelic Smited reasonably early, a second one is really good with the Enhanced 8, so you can kind of make up for it a little bit later. Warring Thunder against this is absolutely no problem. I'm actually quite happy to take that. So you really just want to be playing as much as you can, summoning as many followers as possible, getting whatever you can out of your draw pile, and also using the abilities to swarm and deal damage. It's really all you need from this deck. It's a pity Evos don't count towards your countdown, but at least it does as far as playing out followers. You don't even have to necessarily play them. If they're summoned, it counts too, so any follower that you get on board is going to be a positive overall, so that's a really good thing about this deck. It works wonders for that style of play. So this is a really good Grammary from the Shadow player. I'm actually not that surprised, but it was just really nice to see that go down. So I'm now going to, of course, favor doing whatever I can here to win. And I can't remove really much at all other than the 3-2. That's really it with this. And I want to get rid of it because I don't want them getting free kills on my 2-2s there. So leaving up the 4-1 and the 1-1, not the best line of play, but the best I had an option to. And it worked out well. I mean, we took 1 damage, they traded. Normal, predictable stuff as far as that goes. And with double Otohime here, we can actually play one, just straight out. That's 4, instant countdown. And it can actually just trade off all the little guys. I mean, why not at that point? Plus, our next Dragon Empress will just be a straight up play, fill the board, and actually end up with a bunch of 8/8s if we want them. Evo Shadow is actually a deck that I'm looking into a fair bit, and I think is going to be the next video for you guys to check out. It's not exactly this one. This one's actually a different variation, as it does have Ceres in it. I think my variation doesn't. So a little bit different. So here we go. The Epic player did go for Disdain because it's not going to matter here. For us, at least. For them, it helps a little bit. So we get 4 8/8s. That's a lot of stats to deal with. The Shadow player doing their best to at least deal with one of them. even 2 of them, but without any play points, you're not getting rid of the other 2. And that's exact lethal on the opponent for 16. I actually having a lot of fun with this deck. The turns where you just go like that is insane. The worst possible bricks you could probably get would just be not getting your early treasure. If you can't get the Dragon's Hoard early, you're going to run into some problems. But getting it turn 1, I mean, that's pretty good, especially with Hoverboard Mercenary and Goblin, both really nice early plays. Can actually set up for some really, really nice action. Going up against Forest, though, is not fun. Most Forest decks are Roach based, and that can be dangerous. Since this deck is on the mediumly slow side, I think it's actually hardest matchup with this deck would probably be against Portal, to be honest, which is a little worrying. Haven also wouldn't be perfect, but it's a fun deck. That's one thing for it. While it's not competitive, it's fun, and the plays when you make them are absolutely crazy and insane, and that's something I love to see. So I went for Doting Dragoneer and the Goblin play, because why not at this point? I'm just going to let them go free range on what they want to do, because basically nothing they played here was too much of a big threat to us. Although I do now need to trade, so there's that. If I had have traded earlier, I probably could have freed up some more space and not had to worry as much, but I still got my counter down. It's at 12 now, which is good. 11 by next turn. Plus with whatever else I want to decrease, and the draw is great. Getting another Full Metal Dragoon to go with our Doting Dragoneer guarantees that even if we get wiped here, we can fill our board right back up. So I don't mind that at all. Fairies Yawn, no problem. They did lock us down though, which is a little tricky. Because now I can't use the 2/2 to actually attack, so there's no point using it at this point. So we'll go for the extra face damage, go for some damage, we got the extra follower out. And we still get to keep a Full Metal Dragoon in hand, which we can actually use with the Diver as well if we want, which, again, won't be the perfect play, but it'll still be pretty good. Especially since it will generate a full board, which will set up for Otahime on turn 7. As I said, you can set up some pretty crazy lines of play with this deck, which work fairly well. Worst thing would be Angelic Smite, really. That's the only trouble card, I think, overall, in my opinion. So I went for that. And the Mechafin Diver. Just freeing up our generation there. And leaving us with a very nice board. So if they don't wipe the board, I don't have to play Dragon Empress. If I play Dragon Empress, it'd be a waste at that point. If they don't wipe, I may as well just take what I've got, go face a bit, use Gadget Mermaid, use something else maybe. Like this Disciple of Disdain, which is actually pretty good. And now I should actually naturally get it, which is actually okay. So, even if they don't wipe again, we get a full thing of 8/8s, which would be great. And if they do, we go Dragon Empress, and we do basically the same thing. So, Burst Shot with a pass. That's not going to go well for them now, and ended in a concede. Obviously, realizing they were literally dead to board anyway. So as far as fun decks go, this has definitely become one of my favorites. It's a great, great deck for just messing around. And as you saw with the Dragon's Hoard, getting those to go off feels amazing. Being able to just flood the board with 8/8s, flood the board over and over every turn reasonably cheaply, 1-2 card combos, just setting you up for damage after damage. Your opponent really has trouble coming back from that a lot of the time with most decks that I went up against. Like I said, the few decks you can run into trouble with, maybe Haven, maybe Portal, some of the stronger decks out there, so don't expect this to be super competitive right now. But if we see a shake-up with mini expansion, this could potentially start rising the ranks, and that would be something I would love to see. So if you guys did enjoy this video and want to check this deck out, you will find the link in the description below. Be sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more content, and until next time, guys, See ya.